Injury Prevention, a candid conversation about aging. Hey, I'm Sarah from mostmotion and I'm here with another Mobility Matters simple injury prevention for fitness coaches episode. And today we're talking about aging. Now, nobody likes talking about aging, and the simple fact is that it's happening to all of us. We're all getting older, but nobody likes to admit that as they get older, they can't do things that they could do when they were younger. And when that comes to body development and things like that, as children, we're very mobile, very bendy, and that means that we can cope with falling over when we're learning to walk and things like that. And then as we grow up, things start to stiffen off, so as we grow through like up to teenage years, then everything starts to settle down, their body starts to get stronger, then we build strength into that to keep everything working properly. But then as we kind of go through our 20s and 30s, we focus on proving ourselves, doing everything we possibly can with our bodies, and because we still have residual amounts of that movement and that ability to build new tissue and basically recover from everything, we seem like we're invincible, then we don't really suffer from major issues in our 20s and 30s, but as we get through into our 40s and 50s, that's when things start to break down a little bit, okay? But our bodies start to stiffen up, they start to feel a bit more achy, a bit more stiff on a morning. These nagging kind of problems just seem like they appear from nowhere, and then they become our new normal, okay? This is the age when those sorts of problems don't seem to go away, okay? And that's when we feel like we are just getting older, okay? If I had a penny for every time I heard somebody say that about a problem that they were having in terms of their body, I would be rich, but I'm not. So, so as we go through our 40s and 50s, this is when those little problems start to hang around, they start to develop. Hey, Joanna. And that is the precursor for everything happening after that age. So as we get into our 60s and 70s and 80s, those little problems start to get bigger and more serious. And that means that as we get older into our 80s and 90s, we can't move around as much. And that dictates our older generation, okay? So in our 40s and 50s, this is when we are most likely to have clients who are going to pay us for our services. Okay, because they have, they're high up in their job, they've reached like management levels, they've got high levels of stress, they've got short levels of time, their kids are usually around teenage years by then, so they're busy off doing stuff, they're going through exams, they're going through a lot of stress themselves, so that means they don't have a great deal of brain space to focus on anything except work and kids, okay? Their health issues are likely to start creeping in, so they can start to have problems with their heart, or they could be pre-diabetic or something like that at this age, okay? They are starting to recognize also that they are getting older, which is not a nice realization for some people, and that's when they try and recapture their youth, okay? But this is the population, 40s and 50s, when injury prevention is the most important thing that we can do for our clients, okay? It's going to affect your business if you don't do this, because these clients have the least amount of time and they have the most amount of spare cash, usually, okay? So if they're not if they haven't got a lot of time, then that's when they start to join clubs or they start to join classes, because if they're exercising at a certain time of day, they're much more likely to put that time aside for that, especially if there's other people involved in that. And if they don't want to do that, that's when they pay for personalized coaching, because also they don't have the brain space to think about what it is that they want to be doing in their training. They just want to pay somebody else to do that for them, and that's where you come in, okay? But if we're not sensitive to their changing needs in their bodies and we don't help them with this injury prevention, they're not going to be our clients very long, because these niggles will come and they will just keep coming, okay? But this is the point where we can do the most to help, all right? So simple things that we can do to help is to reduce the amount of repetition, okay? Because that reduces the amount of strain in the same place on our clients' bodies, okay? And I'm going to use my head and my finger to show you, okay? If I do this in the same place all the time, then I start to feel sore around this place that I'm hitting, okay? I can do that a lot, and eventually I will start to feel sore. That's like doing the same type of exercise over and over and over and over and over again in exactly the same way, okay? But if I spread the load, okay, so I start doing this instead, then that means that the soreness doesn't appear, okay? It takes much, much longer to appear, and it might only appear in one place, and it might not appear at all. You just don't know. And that's exactly the same as changing an exercise. Let's take push-ups, for example. I can think of hundreds of variations of push-ups, but most people only do 1 or 2, okay? So that's like normal way. The way you usually do push-ups is like doing this with your clients' bodies, okay? If you do different ones every single time you come to do push-ups, or even in the same set of push-ups, then you are spreading the load with your client's body. You're allowing their muscle tissue to have less stress on them, and that's going to help offset and even prevent a lot of injuries, okay? The second thing that you can do that people don't often like doing is add an extra rest day, okay? Bodies of 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s need more time to recover from the intense exercise particularly, okay? So if you're doing a lot of volume, if you're doing a lot of load, then extra mobility days, extra rest days are going to be very, very helpful for those clients. It means their bodies have got more time to recover, okay? But if you say to somebody of 40, 50, 60, 70, we're going to add an extra rest day for you because your body won't cope with this, they're not going to like it very much. They don't like admitting that things are not like they used to be, okay? So what we can do with that is we can tweak it slightly. So instead of having a 7-day plan with 2 rest days in it, then we might have a rolling 3 or 4 day plan where they do 2 or 3 workout days in a row, and then they have a rest day. And then you can sneak in that extra rest day and they don't particularly notice that that's what's happening, although probably will in the end, okay? So we can make these small adjustments so our clients don't feel like they're having to do anything different to what they used to do in their 20s and 30s, okay? And that's really important for our clients' mental health. It's very important for their motivation, and it's very, very important for their injury prevention as well. So I have outlined the exact process that you need to go through in my upcoming book, The Coach's Guide to Long-Term Injury Prevention Success. It's not quite ready yet, but you can put your, you can be first to get it. Just use the link in the description, and there's also an opportunity to get the very first section of the book. I think it's like 30 pages or something like that, that you can get right now because that bit's ready, okay? So if you want to know exactly how you can put this sort of stuff into your programming and make a massive difference to your clients' bodies and the next generation of elderly people, then you want to grab that book and be the first to do that. You can use the link in the description, okay? So thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Oh, and don't forget to comment if you like this video. You can like it, share it, give us the hearts, all that stuff. All right? Thanks a lot. See you next time.